Hey, Democrats, let me holler at y'all for a second. Yeah. Let me holler at y'all, Democrats. Hi, my name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. Well, they finally did it.
Joe Biden is grounded. He's grounded in his faith, in his family, and in our state. Excuse me. I'm sorry. This was a very difficult decision, and one that I think reflects the very best of who Joe Biden is. Someone who, as you put it, Bob, comes home because it's where his strength is. His strength is in his family. His strength is in our community. His strength is in his faith. As he was finding his way through the tragic loss of his wife and daughter back in 1972 that began his career in the Senate, it was in Delaware, and it was in his faith that he found the grounding and the strength to be able to get back up and continue. And in every chapter in his life, in politics, in service, in his family, and at home, he's been grounded. Joe Biden, more than anyone I've ever known, speaks to what is best in the American spirit, a capacity to keep going, to see challenges, but to find hope and to find strength.
You know Biden got to be tight. Yeah, I mean, you know Biden got to be tight. He like, wait a minute. So y'all just going to force me to retire from the company? But the dude who started 4 weeks after me gets to stay on? He been stealing from the company for 50 years. Let's go ahead and get one thing straight. To the Democrats who pushed out Joe Biden, you made one debate performance, and I assume it was one debate performance, because if not, you had 4 whole years to do this business. Y'all took longer than Michael took to leave the Jackson 5 to handle Joe Biden and his age. Y'all made one debate performance more punitive than this.
Viktor Orban, did anyone ever hear of him? He's the leader of Turkey. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley is in charge of security. 3 years later, how about that?
Did you actually have a one-on-one with Comey then?
Not much, not even that I remember. I like mosquitoes. We have languages coming into our country. We have nobody that even speaks those languages. They're truly foreign languages. Nobody speaks them. Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your... Oh. I have a really good memory.
Your next wife was a woman by the name of Marla Maples.
That's right.
Do you recall what years you were married to Ms. Maples?
It's called like Up Here, and it's called Memory, and it's called other things.
So you don't remember saying you have one of the best memories?
I don't remember that.
And Putin, you know, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word. You heard that, nuclear.
We have to win in November, or we're not going to have Pennsylvania. They'll change the name.
I talked to Putin a lot.
Did you ask him that? I don't remember that. I saw that this morning. I don't remember asking him that question.
I have a good memory and all that stuff, like a great memory.
For 20 years, they were fighting ISIS. I defeated ISIS in 4 weeks.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won.
I'm not cognitively. And you know what? When I am, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to be the first people. I know my people. You'll say, all right, Trump, you did a good job. Get the hell out of here. That's it.
Or this.
You know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts.
Or this.
Count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, guilty. Count 5, guilty. Those are the first 5 counts coming out of this jury, finding Donald J. Trump guilty on the first 5 felony counts. Reading the rest as we are getting it from our court reporters.
Starting with count 6.
Count 6, guilty. Count 7, guilty. Count 8, guilty. And you'll see on the screen we're tracking ahead. Count 9, guilty. Count 10, guilty. Count 11, guilty. Count 12, guilty. Count 13, guilty. Count 14, guilty. Count 16, guilty. Count 17, guilty. Count 18, guilty. Count 19, guilty. Count 20, guilty. Count 21, guilty. Count 22, guilty. Count 23, guilty. Count 24, guilty. Count 25, guilty. Count 26, guilty. Count 27, we're seeing that on the screen, guilty. Count 28, guilty. Those are the first 28 felony counts here as read by the jury. Count 29, guilty. Count 30, guilty. Count 31, guilty. Count 32, guilty. Count 33 and 34, guilty.
Or even this.
I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the...
To the Democrats who pushed out Joe Biden, if y'all can't get better, and I mean much better, like treat it like George Costanza opposite day and just do the opposite of what you think is right. If y'all don't get much better at messaging and marketing, it don't matter who you run because the mission is clear and the stakes are clear.
We can finish the work that Joe Biden has done to restore our democracy and build our economy, or we can turn the greatest country in the world over to a felon, judged, 6-time bankrupt businessman who sent his friends to violently storm the last office from which he was fired. To me, the choice isn't hard, and it's pretty clear that Kamala Harris would be the best one.
Hey, Van Jones, fix your face.
Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa, you got to take the keys, and everybody, you got to take his keys, you got to, and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated, and then you finally get the keys back. And then you just cry because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about. This is somebody who was there for you. This is somebody you wouldn't be here without him. And you have to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, politics is politics, but this is a human moment for one of the great humans in America. This is a huge moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who wanted him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this, this is leadership. This is patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first and put the party first and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's what Joe Biden has done, and he's done that for all of us. And so I just want to say, I don't know who's going to be the VP, the non-VP. I don't know anything about politics. I just know that I love this man. I care about this man. It was painful every day to sit up here and talk about him like he's just some problem for the party. Wait till we get to the convention. You're going to see people crying, standing, screaming, cheering. He may not get a chance to talk for 10 minutes. We finally get a chance to put our arm around this guy. He did the right thing for this country. He did the right thing for this party. All of us are going to be in this situation someday, and I hope that we take a moment to honor this man and to love this man. I love Joe Biden. I appreciate what he's done, and a lot of people are heartbroken today. Even if it's the right thing, it's still just horrible.
Whatever happened to don't cry at work? You ain't cried this hard since Amber Rose left stage. Now it is true. Joe Biden's record deserved better. The number of uninsured Americans is at an all-time low. Job growth in Biden's first 3 years outperformed any previous president. The cost of living is going down. Green spending is up. Families are richer than ever, and net worth has climbed under Joe Biden. Inequality is narrowing after a rise in real wages for low-income workers. The stock market is booming, and despite what MAGA tells you, violent crimes, especially homicides, have fallen.
What a man. What a patriot. What an act of selfless devotion to your country. And he has been a phenomenal president. He brought us back from COVID. He, gave us the best recovery from COVID of any major nation on earth at a time when the world has economically been struggling in the wake of COVID. The Biden economy is literally the envy of the world. He ended the presidency of Donald Trump at one disastrous term. And he did it while being decent and civil and honorable and normal and occasionally boring at a time when boring was absolutely what we needed. And I just, his career of decades in public service as a senator and as a very successful vice president and as a phenomenally successful president, there is no single thing that he has done in that entire career that is a greater or more consequential act of service and sacrifice to this country than what he has done today. And I cannot, knowing him a little bit, knowing his personality, having spoken to him, a number of times in my life, both in sort of official and unofficial capacities, I cannot see anywhere in his personality where this decision today was possible. This is the opposite of something that is natural or easy for him. He is just not built to do something like this because his superpower is being underestimated. And that's why he's been so resolute in resisting all these calls for him to drop out. But him making this decision today is to give the country a chance, a reasonable chance at not putting Donald Trump back in the White House, not putting a president back in the White House who refused to leave the last time and summoned an angry mob to try to overthrow the government rather than go. This is Joe Biden saying, apparently it's not me, the one that gives us the best chance to do that. It's got to be somebody else, and so I will step aside. I'm just blown away by the sacrifice and the patriotism that this moment embodies.
To the Democrats who pushed out Joe Biden, you let one debate performance be more punitive than it doesn't matter who you run. You don't think the right is primed to attack whoever the Democrats throw out? It doesn't have to be fair. It don't have to be true, but it is coming. There ain't no silver bullet candidate who's not going to get unfair slander from the right. In fact, they already started with Kamala.
But do these donors really think that Kamala Harris is going to do better in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania than Joe Biden would? That's the because it can't be anybody else, right?
Hey, Rob, you're being logical. Stop it. All right. She's a DEI hire, right? She's a woman. She's colored. Therefore, she's got to be good.
There's a lot at stake. Plus, the progressive movement, they are this close to locking this thing in. They have opened the borders. They've changed the entire culture of this country. If you look at the cities, it's almost over. If they can drag him across the finish line and install Kamala, we have a DEI presidency that they can celebrate for the rest of the administration.
I don't think they can. They're in a box. They are in a box where they've got to choose between a mentally incompetent president and a DEI vice president.
Speaking of which, by the way, Biden very graciously endorsed Kamala Harris in his statement, something that was notably missing from a lot of the calls for Biden to step down. Hey, Democrats, let me holler at y'all for a second. Yeah. Let me holler at y'all, Democrats. Oh, Tiffany Cross has a word? Okay, all right, yeah. Well, Tiffany gonna holler at y'all first. Then I'm gonna be waiting.
Okay, the fact that I'm even on here looking like this on a Sunday, I just want to say it would take a lot of balls for somebody to try to stand between Vice President Kamala Harris and the presidency. I want to issue this warning. You do not want it to be black women versus Democrats. Black women are fighters. We are the base. It would be highly disrespectful and out of pocket for someone to try to leapfrog over Vice President Kamala Harris right now. And I have to say, most of the black women, I've talked about myself, I have to say most of the black women I know, we are exhausted with everything that we do to uphold this country and are summarily, routinely dismissed. I'm just telling you, buckle up, guys, because it's going to be a long few months until Election Day. Welcome home, y'all.
Did you think you were going to throw Joe Biden overboard and skip Kamala Harris and keep the black vote? Huh? Is that what y'all thought? Is that what y'all thought? To the Democrats who pushed out Joe Biden and don't want Kamala Harris, what made you think that wasn't going to make us feel a ways? Huh? What made you think reenacting our daily corporate experience within the Democratic Party wasn't going to be a problem. What made you believe that? See, we have to face the hoteps in our own community who say that the Democrats take black votes for granted. And this what y'all do? Huh? This what y'all were trying to do. We have to face people saying they take our votes for granted, and here you are taking our votes for granted, thinking, oh, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be all right. Now, don't worry about it. We'll find a way to just smooth it over. And here was my question. If you didn't want Kamala Harris, if you wanted Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer or Pete Buttigieg or Boo the Fool, whoever, if you didn't want Kamala Harris, but you understand that there's no way you can skip her to keep the black delegation, then what was the point? What was the point? What was the point? Because a different candidate is completely untenable. So what was the point of this exercise? Y'all out here acting like that roommate threatening to move out because y'all have an argument when they don't even have enough money to pay the rent. Where you going? It's bad enough we got to deal with the racism coming from the right.
Kamala Harris said something to the effect that I have no loyalty to this country. Well, I don't know, Kamala. I did serve in the United States Marine Corps and build a business. What the hell have you done other than collect a check?
Now, I'm going to keep it 100. Look, if I had served in the military and somebody questioned my loyalty to America, that might make me feel a ways. I'll be honest, that might make me feel a ways, except for the fact that you are now the vice president for a man who you once called.
You've said, I'm a never Trump guy, never liked him, terrible candidate, idiot if you voted for him, might be America's Hitler, might be a cynical a-hole, cultural heroine, noxious and reprehensible.
From a never Trump guy to being his VP. So you can understand how somebody might in fact question your loyalty. In fact, now your whole stance on no-fault divorce makes a whole lot of sense. Now I understand why he wants to make it more difficult for women to leave relationships. Because if you have issues with loyalty, I can understand how that could be an issue legally forcing your partner to stay in the marriage. Now I understand everything perfectly. Now to the way you landed that plane about what have you done, what was that, other than collect a check?
Well, I don't know, Kamala. I did serve in the United States Marine Corps and build a business. What the hell have you done other than collect a check?
Now, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the vice president just walks around in caddies for the president when they're playing golf and the rest of the time just sits on the side drinking lemonade. This woman spent 13 years as a prosecutor. She was the first black woman in California history to be elected district attorney. She was also California's attorney general, where she was the first woman to ever be selected to that role. And oh yeah, there's that whole fact of her being a United States senator. You, on the other hand, worked for decades as a venture capitalist and wrote a book. But that doesn't stop you from just leaning into the whole welfare queen trope and saying, what did you do other than collect a check? See, facts don't actually matter to MAGA. It's just whatever it is that they can say and sell. So you just found a way to just stumble into the racism. That is a lovely dress you got there. What color is that? Is that watermelon? I just posted a video yesterday on how hard it is for America to accept black women.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot.
The link is in the description. Huh? No, hey, Candace, no, I said black women. Yeah, black women.
I mean, you should not believe it. the things that are happening right now. They're like, oh my, Biden dropped out. And yeah, that's a really big announcement, but also there's a little piece of you that knows that all of this is a little fake and gay.
Of course you think that. Of course, if a man's not leading, then it's totally gay. She does not miss an opportunity to throw women under the bus. She, like the Patrick Mahomes, are throwing women under the bus. And I used to take it personally, right? I used to take it personally as a black person about her consistent anti-blackness, but her anti-women stances might actually trump that. And we should start a constituency. Black women. Oh, well, I thought I was going to be able to go a whole week without having to drag her. And yet, here we go.